The initiative would like to send out its thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of Natalie Ann Desselle-Reid. She is an American actress most known for her roles in Babs, Set It Off, Cinderella, and the TV series Eve. Natalie Cole will be greatly missed, and we send out all our love. Thank you. Welcome back to the Afro Anime Initiative podcast. I am your co-host Darren Bradley, along with
Paulina. Hey guys, I hope y'all are well.
and here at the Afro Anime Initiative podcast, we discuss everything in Afrofuturism A to Z. And let's be honest, we gonna go past them 26 letters because we dope like that. You can follow the initiative on all our social medias at Afro Anime Initiative on Facebook and Instagram. Follow us at Afro_AI on Twitter and right on YouTube. Paulina, let's kick the show off with throwing a little positivity out there by hashtag throwing some shine at a Instagram page called Defined exclamation. You gotta add a point to find them. They are animation studio here in America who is teaming up with an animation studio in Nigeria, I believe, project of its kind, to put out Afro and Black centric heroes. Man, I love it. They should be coming out next year. Follow them on Instagram and keep up to date. All right, Pete. Let's move on to our first story, and let's start with the video game world because, Nintendo, just stop. Nintendo is about to face some serious problems, but good for players, with a new lawsuit coming from the Dutch, let me get this right, Dutch Consumers Association, in conjunction with Italy, France, and a few other nations to let Nintendo know that, hey, y'all knew this joystick drift was a real problem. Y'all knew that people could only buy y'all stuff. That stuff was extra expensive, especially over there in the European market.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew it was going to break down and you didn't say nothing. And nations, not people, not individual, nations are coming for that head. Paulina, what are your thoughts on this new lawsuit coming for Nintendo and the Joy-Con drift situation?
It's the biggest lawsuit because this is not new at all. This has been a problem since the Switch first dropped, and I can't say I'm
Yeah, I mean, say
surprised.
newest lawsuit. Sorry.
Like I can't say that this is surprising, but it's like how can a company like Nintendo let this happen for so long? Like what is going on with the executives to be holding back like this? This was a massive problem from the beginning. Countries of people are like, "Hey, there's a drift problem. Nintendo, fix this." But instead, sometimes Nintendo doesn't even answer. Sometimes after about a year, they're issuing refunds. Um, and then it got to the point where people created their own solutions, which somewhat worked,
Mm-hmm.
but not really. So I'm not surprised that it had to get to this point. I have a Switch Lite, and knock on wood, it's okay. Knock on wood. But my heart goes out to them because it's like, what the fuck is this company doing? How are they lollygagging so hard on this massive issue? This is expensive equipment that people are shelling out because it's Nintendo. It's classic stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, people depend on quality equipment in order to enjoy their gaming experience. Like I read articles because I'm in the Pokemon forums and stuff like that. I'm reading articles and accounts of people who encounter like rare shinies only to miss their chance to grab it, or they use the wrong ball. Like one guy used the Master Ball on a lesser Pokemon because of the Joy-Con drift. He was like, oh my god, my heart hurt for him because I'm like, shit, a Master Ball,
Yeah.
his only one. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, damn,
Yeah.
it's that bad. So for this lawsuit to
Because
come
it
up
gets to
and
the point. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, continue.
I was saying because it comes to this happens with all controllers. Let's clarify that it happens to
Right.
all controllers,
Mm-hmm.
but it happens after years of use.
Yes, not
This
off
stuff
the
happens
box.
within months,
Exactly, fresh out of
right?
the fucking box.
Months. Like, come on, Nintendo. And then the fact that we can't use any other controller, no second, no third party stuff. And then your controllers, you don't even want to like lower the price. You don't even lower the price for faulty equipment. You're charging out the butt for stuff you know is gonna break within 2 months.
Mm.
Like, come on, man. And like I said, when you do something like that as an international global company, that's when nations have to get involved. Because let's be honest, some of these global leaders had kids, and
Yep.
these global leaders travel. So
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Switch is a beautiful thing. Here's your video games on the go, leave me alone. But if
Mm-hmm.
the kid's like, yo, my controller broke again, and you got to shell out another 80, 90 euros, $60 here for Americans, that's gonna become a problem.
Yeah.
And
Because
all you had to do was address it.
hmm
That's
what
it.
what they
Address
failed
it.
to, and what they failed to realize, it's like this is an investment these players are putting into. They put faith in your products because you have been successful before. Don't start fucking up right now. I mean, there have been fuck ups before with any company, especially with Nintendo, but not like this. Not that I
I
remember.
think what they're on, they're trying to be on that. They're trying to be on that Apple shit. Where hey, we're gonna make you break on purpose, so you have to buy stuff.
Oh
But what
no.
they thought they could get away with it, and that but they like no countries are coming for their hair. And don't
Yep.
worry, Apple gonna get that soon too.
Mm-hmm.
The
Of course
Apple
they
better
will.
watch out these AirPods. The country's gonna come for their neck too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, but yeah, it's like I said, this is a good thing for the players, a bad thing for Nintendo. But Nintendo as an organization should have been like, okay, we came out with a faulty product.
Mm-hmm.
We really don't know how to fix it. How about we just drop the price? Y'all ain't want to do that because we all need the money. But then it's like, which is going to be bigger, a multi-nation lawsuit or y'all fixing a bunch of broken plastic? We'll find out because, like you said, this is the latest. Like I said, I misspoke. It wasn't just the new; it was the newest lawsuit about this thing. This because there are more. There have been more before this. There's probably going to be some more after them. Nintendo don't get it together. All right, so let's leave Japan. Let's bring it back home to the States. And I'm feeling this trend, but I'm not feeling this trend
Mm-hmm.
where black actors in Hollywood are coming out telling their story
Mm-hmm.
because unfortunately the publications that they're coming out to are owned by white people and operated by white people, and they're going to benefit from us telling our struggle again, you know, that money for tears stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also it does bring out more examples for black actors and producers and filmmakers and writers and AGs. And hey, maybe we shouldn't go to Hollywood all the time for stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe we should just try to do our own. And the latest story from an article from Variety, a very well written article, by the way. So Variety, I mean, I'm going to give you your props.
No.
About
Give your
Leonard.
props to him, to Leonard. He's a good
Yeah.
writer. Sorry.
Oh
Continue.
no, I have to give it. I have to give some. No, I have to give some to them because let's be honest, editorial.
Oh,
Oh, we
true.
have the right to
True, true,
change
true.
stuff, and it
Of
looked like they
course.
didn't, and I got to give them props for that.
Yep.
So that's why I'm giving them
You're
props for.
right. You're right. You're right.
Leonard Roberts Leonard Roberts recalls his tale of how his big break should have been the NBC TV show Heroes, and it turned into his worst nightmare. Leonard Roberts was probably known from such cool sci-fi shows as Heroes, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and just in like just being a cool black dude in a lot of random sci-fi shows that I watch. I'm like, wow, bro, I do remember you like everything.
And Drumline too.
He's
I'm
a
like,
good
holy
actor,
crap.
and yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
Loved
He
him
was
in
the he
Drumline.
was he was the big bad guy in Drumline. That's right. I keep forgetting that.
He was
Look,
too
because again,
fine
I see him.
too.
I mostly see him on right. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
sorry.
mostly see him on sci-fi stuff. That's why I don't
Yeah.
remember Drumline that much. I see him on sci-fi stuff all
Oh,
the
I
time.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, you know I'm a geek. I'm a
Of
nerd, man. I'm a
course.
nerd.
Of course.
So I see him. I remember from all the sci-fi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was cool in Drumline, and you could see him pulling them girls. So he gets props for
Absolutely.
that.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically telling a tale about how Heroes was supposed to be his first break, the thing that's supposed to get him into that, that upper echelon of a steady working actor, and it became a nightmare due to he eloquently puts it that he doesn't know the hearts and minds of his co-stars and producers and stuff. But I don't have to be elegant because I don't work for none of them. They was racist as hell,
Yeah. Period.
and they literally went with Ali Lauder. That's the blonde white woman who people always say had problems with her on set, but somehow they
Oh
still
well.
went with her.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim Craig, a privileged producer who basically failed
Mm-hmm.
into everything, but somehow he got success and they just kept him because I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. As a geek, Heroes sucked literally after episode 5.
Yeah.
That was not a good show.
Mm-mm.
It was never a good show. I kept watching it because it was the closest thing we had to X-Men, but I was like, this is bad. It was bad.
From the
But
jump.
I digress. Leonard Roberts talks about his experiences and basically how that perception of, well, we got to go with the white woman over whatever the black person needs so they could be successful, and how it messed with his career. Paulina, would you like to speak about what's going on with Leonard Roberts and his story?
Without raising my blood pressure, I'm gonna do the best I can. When I first came across this article, it was like this. What was it? Last night? Or no, no, no. It was like 2 nights ago.
Mhm.
And I was infuriated, but more so, my heart was broken for him. And I wasn't shocked about
Mhm.
Ali because from the jump as a kid, when I saw her face, I'm like, she looks real seedy. She looks sus as hell. I was right. So this whole thing, it's it's just I can't say a trend, but I'm glad they're speaking up. I'm glad these stars are finally stepping up and saying, okay, so this is my experience with racism in Hollywood, with these co stars and these producers, period. And his piece was so eloquently written. Like, I remember
Mhm. Mhm.
watching Heroes at the time it came out, and I was a fan because, like you said, it was the closest thing to X-Men at the time. What else did we have? And seeing his character, not only him, but the Haitian, which till now perplexes me as to why they just call him the Haitian, but okay. Um,
The Haitian. Hmm.
I love that actor. And so I this whole thing was not surprising, but even in the article at some point after all of this happened, sort of almost immediately after, he pointed out that a co-star of his, he didn't name names, but I have a suspicion as to who said this, literally said like, "Dude, you really think this is
Uh-huh.
race? That it's just Hollywood. They're just going with the hot blonde girl because that's just how it is." And he literally called him out and said, "You literally reinforce the racial stereotypes as to why I've been fired, as to why I've been thrown aside like this." I
Yeah,
wish he
yeah,
said his
yeah,
name. I
yeah.
wish he called his name out. I wanted to know. I had a feeling
Hmm.
as who, but let me
Me
not
too.
go there. Um,
Me too.
but the show itself is so sus. Anyways, with the minimal amount of characters of color, whatever the term is now. I don't know what the fucking term is now anymore. It was already suspicious enough that they patted themselves on the back for huge diverse cast, but by season 2, like, more than half were gone. More than half were
Yeah.
gone. And the fact that his own character was able to phase through matter but was killed by gunshots? Oh no,
Gun
no.
violence. Right.
And
Right.
it's like that when he saw that, he's like, "Wait a minute, that does not make any sense." But gun violence of all things, a black man who can phase through matter.
Hold on. And then let's put the icing on top. So it's his death, right? But we don't get to see his last
Oh
moments.
no, we don't get to
They
see
the
it.
camera
Mm-mm.
the camera stays on the white woman.
With blood
Huh?
splattered all over her.
Right.
Oh, he
Huh?
was. Wasn't he also like? Wasn't the character also labeled as a white man's worst nightmare? I'm like,
Yeah. And I
really?
I remember that as a
I love
tagline.
that.
And I
Yeah.
wrote up to just bad writing, but now I'm like, no, that's not bad writing. That's
No,
done on purpose.
straight up
Because
racism.
think about this. Because think about this. Like I said, I'm a geek. I was into as soon as I heard about Heroes, I was there day one.
Hmm.
And this is the part that kills me. As a writer, a person that likes comic books, you introduce characters slowly. You introduce different story arcs, new people to change the dynamic or the status quo, or to reinforce the status quo. So when he didn't show up to episode 6, I was just like, oh, that's just cool. They're really doing it like a comic book. He recounts in this article, oh no, I was supposed to be there on day one.
Oh yeah.
Day one. He was supposed to be in the first episode. To mean black people, I guess. They
Mm.
pushed his appearance to episode 6. Right there off the bat. You can't sit and talk about that it doesn't have to do with race because it seems like, if I do recall correctly, that's what happened to a lot of minority people except for two. All the minorities got introduced well after the white cast was established. But if it's a show with these characters have always been there, you hired them before y'all started shooting, especially with season 1, and y'all purposely did not introduce these characters to later. Purposely. The only thing that these characters have in common is their racial background. Nothing else. They all had powers. They all was dealing with it, and they all was on Heroes. I don't know what else. What reason did you have for not bringing in a more diverse cast with episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? And I didn't know that. Again, that's why I'm very glad that these actors are speaking out and saying these stuff. Because again, as a comic writer, I just thought, oh, they did that was real smart of them to purposely wait to bring in more people. Nah, they was just being a bunch of assholes. Y'all didn't do nothing on purpose. Y'all just got lucky and stumbled into success again. Because again, Heroes is not a good show. Leonard talked about this mostly because he feels in this climate that this stuff does need to be spoken out. People do need to be warned because he talks about his emotional and mental state 10 years later. Some of the things that happened on this set still affect him now. And he has mentioned that it kind of affects when he acts with other shows. He gets paranoid now when the producers come and talk to him, even though it could be for them telling him, like, no, you did a good job and we got this thing we want you to do. His mind is, we finna tell you that some white actors don't want you to be here no more. That's trauma that people of color have to deal with all the time. Black people have been dealing with this country every day. That a white woman, or shit, a white man, anybody could say something, and that's the end of us. No career, look, no life. And for his producers, he told this story about one of his producers was talking about, I feel your pain. I wish I could only just write the show and not just be the showrunner. And he recalls how this producer told another castmate how he just bought $4,000 shoes.
Oh.
What pain you in, bro? I just lost a job.
that part blew me out of the water. Like, hold on, how tone deaf are you? Just racist, that's all.
Man.
And with
Just,
what her name, Larder, her bitch ass.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. First of all, she had a major problem. She had a major problem being around him, playing his fucking wife. But she had no problem playing the same character, flirting it up with one of the other white characters. That's number one. Number two, actually, no, three things. Number two, instead of, doing the route like, okay, there's no chemistry, because there was no chemistry between those two. Anyways, go the divorce route. Keep the character. No, he had to be killed off by the most unlogical, like illogical way possible. That's number two. Number three, her bitch ass, after reading this article, reached out and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that was his experience. I didn't realize, blah, blah, blah. Hopes and prayers to him and his family." That cop out. That regular gaslighting cop out.
And it's the weird thing about that, because honestly, we know how Alilotta is. We know about this after Heroes. You see, she ain't work nothing.
Nope.
She don't get no role. She don't get no work.
Nope.
She's a terrible person. And to harp on your second point, and I can't believe it just flew out of my head. Oh my god. What was your second point?
What? Oh, my second point was,
I want to piggyback on your second point. What was your second point?
Shit. The second the second point, I think instead of killing off the character, they could have gone the divorce route, because again, there was no chemistry between the two characters anyways.
Right. Correct. And he brings that up. So I should empathize you as the showrunner and writer when you just let me know you don't know how to write, because you don't know how to write a divorced character. Why did I have to die? I could still been on the show. I could have been a divorced character taking care of my son. Why you didn't have that positive representation of a black father? Nah, you gotta die.
No, the worst thing about it, the thing that just made me go, oh well, of course, was that her character died, but then the actress came back as another aspect of her character, a clone.
Oh, the twin.
On a twin or a twin or
stuff.
some twin or a clone.
Her power. No, it was a twin. Her powers were, the reason she had the powers because she had a split personality and split into a different whole person. So it gave her the super strength and stuff. Yep. Oh no, I remember that because again, I'm like, oh, that's not a bad idea, and they gave it to the worst character on the show. Like, you gave it to the worst character. Like, I don't care about her character at all. But again, to further the point, and that's why he brings it up too. Like, so you have this diverse cast. You have black and brown. You have African and Caribbean on the show. Wasn't a single brown black writer in that room.
No, that was the first thing he noticed. I remember.
Not a one.
First thing
and again, that go. It's nice to be included. It truly is. I'm not against segregation. I just think we need to understand how much it's hurt the black community. But we got to do stuff for ourselves,
We
man.
do. We really
Write
do.
our own shows, hire our own people. I'm saying like it might be extra hard work. It might take a little bit longer. Go. You bought the iPhone anyway. Go play with that camera.
Right.
Go film some stuff
People
for
have been
real,
filming stuff
man.
on that thing too. And this whole thing, I just every time I see an
YouTube.
account like this, right? Every time or Twitch, every time I see an account
Mhm.
like this come up, I cannot help but think back to Nicole Bahari's experience. And the thing is,
Yeah.
my heart breaks. Like I feel like you know what I'm realizing. I have such a special heart, special place in my heart for her because number one, she's a gorgeous woman.
Hmm.
Number two, she's a fantastic actress.
Hmm.
Number three, like the show that did her dirty. I'm not even gonna say the name. The show that did her dirty.
Hmm.
It was one of my well, at first. It was one of my absolute favorite shows because the premise was so amazing, and the execution at first was actually not bad. At first, so you know
Hmm.
you have all these problems. You know, as it turns out, she had issues with an autoimmune um condition that had landed her in urgent care. Like I even remember her account. Like it's this from a New York Times article. I think she goes into detail about what happened, but you know paywall. Um, but she goes into detail as to what happened. Her and her co-star got sick around the same time. Her co-star was able to go back to England and heal up for a month, while she was still forced to complete an entire episode by herself. By the time she was finished, she landed in urgent care, and
Yeah.
even the doctor there was like, "Yo, she cannot work like this." And it was from that where she voluntarily exited the show. That's why the character was killed off
Hmm.
because she was sick and she was not given time to
Yeah.
heal properly. She was treated like shit. And
Yeah.
literally the worst part about it,
Yeah.
after that she was blacklisted even though there was no legit reason to
Yeah.
blacklist her. It was literally just
Yeah.
this past,
She became a problem.
yeah, all of a sudden, she became a problem, even though there was literally no record of anybody complaining about her attendance, her attitude, her workmanship, none of that. None of that. And yet she was blacklisted. I wonder
Hmm.
why. Even though Fox likes to shoot
Hmm.
itself in the foot with every good show they have, anyways. But still, just this past summer, Miss Juneteenth was her leading movie, like work, in a long time
Hmm.
because one, she was yes blacklisted for a while, but she also needed time to heal, to take care of herself, and she's working on new stuff, which is awesome. I'm really hoping that she's more and more
Yeah.
careful now as to who
Good.
she
Good.
works with, and the stuff that she named, I have to go and really look because if she's in it, I'll watch it. I don't care. I don't care. I'll watch
Yeah.
it, but it just goes to show
I
like we
still gotta
have.
watch Miss Juneteenth.
I still do too. There's like a whole bunch of other stuff I really need to watch. Um, Yeah. So looking at all of these accounts that come up, it's just telling me like, yo, we really need to mobilize and create our own. Like, good for Tyler Perry for having his own studio, but once he gets his head out of his own ass about the writing, he'll be set, and they can actually start from there. They could, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on over there. But we need our own. We have to have our own.
And it's the thing, like, and you can't say we can't do it because I threw it out there as an antidote, but in all honesty, there is an entire section of YouTube that thrives off of just making their own little short films.
Hmm.
And most of those people go on to make even longer films they put on
Hmm.
YouTube. They
Exactly.
have some of them have fancy cameras, but some of them start off super small. They use their phones. Some of them use the phones as backup. Why they got the fancy camera?
Yep.
Like we can do this stuff. We don't have to have a giant structure or infrastructure. I couldn't say
No.
infrastructure. A giant infrastructure to help us do stuff, especially if that infrastructure is made just to steal from us. Like we got to get out of that mentality. We just got to break it. We really do. All right. Well, whew, after that conversation, I think we can use a little fun stuff. And I think the funnest thing we can talk about is the continuation of the streaming wars.
Mm.
That's what I'm calling it, and that's how I like it. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, this past week, even though it's been rumors for a while, it has become official. Sony's Funimation has purchased Crunchyroll and Crunchyroll streaming service for
For
reported $1.175 billion.
fucking
This
billion
allows for
with
Funimation.
a B.
Yes, this allows for Funimation to come out of just animation production and music, but also into convention, Crunchyroll Expo. and they also own a separate anime expo in New York. It allows them to go into more music production, video production, and to have a more solid hold on the global anime business. P,
Mm.
how do you feel about Sony making this big move to make Warner Brothers look stupid and buy Crunchyroll from them?
Okay, smart.
I'm
Very
sorry, y'all.
smart.
I had to throw in a DC rant.
No,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, fuck DC. Um, Smart, extremely smart. After all the crap Sony's been doing, very very smart move. Although sometimes I want to smack Crunchyroll, like, why didn't y'all jump ahead on this thing? But maybe they were meant to be bought and expanded with another company.
Mhm.
Who knows? But I'm now curious to know how that's going to turn out. Is it going to be the same like all the other streaming wars? Is it going to be a little different? What's the setup now? Where are we going to have we're probably going to have access to a lot more anime for a premium price, which is okay. But then, oh, would it still work with Verve, with streaming sites like Verve, or would it still be
It's
the same
falling off
thing?
anyway. Remember, because it
What?
wasn't it Crunchyroll that pulled out of Verve in the first place?
I thought they were still with Verve. Oh no, wait, no.
Okay, so it was Funimation, or either Funimation and Crunchyroll pulled out of Verve first anyway. Remember we
That's
had that
true.
conversation? It was, oh
Yeah.
my
Oh
god,
god, that was a
that
long
was
time ago.
two
Ooh,
years ago on this
holy shit.
podcast.
That was too long ago.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm trying to remember now.
yeah.
Huh.
So Verve has already been on shaky ground. They're losing
Yeah.
ground anyway. That's why we don't talk about them as much as we used to.
Mhm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to throw that in
Oh,
there
that's
because I
okay.
like
That's
this. I
okay.
remember that's when we thought that Verve wasn't gonna stick around much longer because one of these two had left. They like, nah,
That's
we done with y'all.
that's true. Which one was it? I think it was
Yeah, I
Funimation.
can't remember either.
Was it
I
Funimation?
can't remember which one it was either.
Oh my god, it was so long ago.
Okay, we'll move on. One of them left.
Yes, they did. So now we have this thing with Crunchyroll, because I mean they were kind of sort of doing their own thing, anyways. Like I remember I think they interviewed Megan the Stallion, uh, not too long ago,
Hmm.
early this summer, sometime this summer, I
Hmm.
think, because she's a big anime fan, so adorable. And they also did a thing with Junji Ito as well, which was before the pandemic, like a year ago
Yes,
actually.
yes.
So like I
Hmm.
see them doing cool stuff
That
like
was when they
that.
were blowing up their YouTube channel.
Yes, that's right. And I feel like they were just really slow to the race, and now they're bought out. So now I'm asking myself, are they going to continue doing stuff like that? Because sometimes when another company's bought out, they get rid of stuff, and I'm like,
Oh,
I don't want to lose that part.
okay, they're
That
not.
sounds actually cool.
They weren't bought out.
Mm,
They weren't bought out.
mm,
Warner Brothers Media owned them,
okay.
and they sold them to Sony.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So it wasn't a takeover, or nothing. No. It was a selling. Because what the
Oh,
report is saying, right? What the report is saying, Sony, even though Funimation, Funimation is doing big stuff too,
yeah.
but Crunchyroll was doing stuff that Sony couldn't break into. Like I said, Crunchyroll technically owns two expos.
Yeah.
Sony Funimation didn't have that.
Mhm.
Crunchyroll did have their own movie production company and stuff coming out. Sony had theirs with Sony, but it wasn't anime specific.
Right,
They had more
right.
control over, say, like the music side, the OST side and stuff.
Mhm.
So what this is doing is expanding Funimation and Crunchyroll, where they both can help on the parts that they just weren't doing well at the time.
Right,
But it's
right.
all going to be under Sony.
Okay, that makes
And
more
that's
sense.
right.
Mhm.
That's why I threw that jab out at WB, because I'm like, y'all need content. Y'all need stuff for HBO Max. You have one of the best anime streaming services there. Share it. Hey, we also should put this anime on HBO Max. Why would you sell it off? What sense does that make?
Well, because
It's
they
like when
don't
people
know
are
what
saying
they're
that they might
doing.
sell off, right? Because people are talking about they might sell off their video game and the comic book. DC is like, why would you sell it off? Use that to make more stuff for the stuff you're keeping. Why sell it? Why give it away? But again,
They don't know what they're doing.
WB.
Yeah.
But the positives, as you had stated before, I interrupted,
Mhm.
it's going to be access to more anime because
Yeah.
Sony has a really good, strong foot in America, and they do a lot of English dubs as they also do the Japanese versions. And they looks like what they're going to do is hold the English dubs and stuff onto their service for a limited time and then share with everybody else.
Mhm.
But if you want access to stay up to date, to talk that very week with your friends about it, It's time to buy Funimation and get that free Crunchyroll subscription while it's still there.
Also, question with Crunchyroll being under Sony now, will their video quality improve? Because I remember,
By the gods, I hope so.
because I remember my
I hope
first,
it does.
in the beginning, man, the video quality was garbage. Even if you did HD or whatever they had at the time,
Yeah,
garbage. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
so, yeah,
And that's another thing Sony can help them with the infrastructure of getting, like I said, the international stuff, the
right.
high definition, that
Hmm.
Sony quality sound and picture.
Yes.
So that's gonna help them out a lot too. So I think it's a good idea because a lot of people in America have this, singular perspective. It's not about America, it's not about nobody else. The international world just has all the streaming services except for the ones we cry about. And they
Yeah.
cool with it because they have other options. Like we have to worry about where our anime gonna be. Is we gonna get the crappy anime on Netflix or we gotta pay this extra for HBO Max? But Netflix International, like, no, we have all of it. Where you going? So now Sony, Funimation, Crunchyroll, like, let's see about that. And I kind of like it. We need more options. We need more competition. We really do. And I think it's a cool move. Like I said, that price tag, just $1 billion, basically. There's only $1 billion for it.
Only a billion, just
So
a measly billion, you know.
yeah, yeah. So again, we'll see what happens as the streaming wars continue. And look, we'll see if Disney's gonna be like, hey, do we know anybody in Japan that want to work for us? Because we don't really do a lot over there except for the theme park. Maybe y'all should open up a new Japan Disney studio and make some stuff. Just a suggestion. I
They're
don't know why I'm
smart,
helping Disney. I don't have no stock in y'all no more.
right?
Anyway,
I'm like, I'm sitting over here like, fuck Disney. The hell?
right, for real. Why am I helping them?
Right.
But all praise Mickey. No, I'm sorry. All praise Mickey.
Okay.
Some more
Sure.
positive news. Some more positive news. Sticking with the streaming wars, Amazon Prime is like, oh. Y'all want to do diversity? We've been
Oh.
doing diversity. Hold this bag. Viola Davis
E.
is developing Wild Seed by
Mm-hmm.
Octavia Butler in
Yes.
conjunction with Nindi Octafor and Wani Kahu. Am I saying it right? Kahu.
I don't know.
Who will also be writing and directing. The reason I bring this up because first of all, Wild Seed is one of Octavia Butler's best. It's first and one of the best. It's dope, and it leads to a whole bunch of series of other dope stories. Go read Octavia Butler. Anything by Octavia Butler. Stop playing. And to put Viola but producing behind it, but then getting two up and coming rising female writers and one also a director writer, and be like, hey, my African sisters, let's get it. That's what Afrofuturism is about, y'all.
Yes.
That's Afrofuturism. Paulina, speak about Amazon Prime and their development of Wild Seeds.
I'm just excited. I don't sound it, but I'm excited. I just, and I'll be honest though, as much as I love to read recently, I just have not been able to get my hands on any Octavia Butler stuff. I need to read her stuff. I do because that's just my stuff, man. So I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully, it again. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic about a lot of stuff recently because I'm just not bringing my hopes up about nothing unless I see it the way it should be in the best way it is meant to be shown. So if they mess up Octavia Butler, my faith in everything and anything will be in the gutter, and it will take another 5 years for that to come at least an inch out because I'm tired. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this because it's Viola
Yeah,
Davis, number one, and it's
yeah,
Octavia
that's what I
Butler.
say. I'm actually going the opposite way
Hmm.
because the people behind the camera, the people who seem to
Yeah,
be in control,
yeah.
I'm trust them. Because the
That's
problem that
that's
we
what I'm
usually
saying.
have with
Like,
stuff like this
I would
is
like to
it's
see.
like what's that
Hmm.
dude name? Oh, go ahead. While I think of this dude name. Go ahead. What is his name?
No,
Go
I
ahead.
was just saying, like, yeah, with the people behind the filming, good things can come out of it. But again, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna wait till it comes out. That's all.
George R. Martin.
Yes.
George R. Martin is
Yes.
producing that book whose name I forget too.
Mm.
Jesus, I'm sorry, y'all.
Mhm.
And I trust George, but then now that I'm hearing more stuff about the behind the scenes at Game of Thrones, now I'm not excited for this adaptation.
Mhm.
Because I thought George was more involved, and now I'm hearing, yeah, now he really wasn't. That's why I fell off the rails. So, are you going to be involved in bringing this Arthur stuff up? And she's also a black writer with Afrofuturism tendencies and horror. Are you going to bring her stuff up and do it right, or are you just going to sit back there and collect the check? I'm worried about that. I know Viola Davis don't collect no checks. Viola Davis go to work.
Yes. And she's serious
So
about her work,
when
especially when it comes to black
right when I heard it was
stories.
her right when I heard it was her production company, I'm like, okay, we good. We gonna actually get some hope up. We gonna be excited for this one. We gonna give some applause because Amazon has proven that they like, hey, come here, real quick. Do whatever you want as long as you make us money. So if you make us money, we don't care.
Right.
Because I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. I know Paulina is kind of a little weary of it, but I've been reading the boys' comic book since day one. I've been watching that show. Half that show is nothing like the book, but you know what? It feels like I'm reading the book, feels like I'm living the book because Amazon is letting them wild out. And I do mean wild out.
I think that's the thing I appreciate with Amazon. It's like they don't, unlike the other companies, they don't actually step in and be like, oh, well, we think you should do it this way, thus ruining the show or the story, period. No, you're
Mm-hmm.
right. They do let them wild out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you look at some of the
Yeah.
shows on there and it's like, yeah, it's pretty evident. And that's what makes them very
Mm-hmm.
enjoyable.
The only thing, yeah, the biggest thing they say is, hey, y'all didn't make all that money back we gave y'all, so y'all got to cut some stuff back. But if you made all that money back we gave y'all plus some, we're going to give you more money to make more money.
Hmm.
That's how Amazon basically works right
Yep.
now. And I like that because they had this show called The Tick. I don't know if you guys remember The Tick. The
I
Tick used to
remember
be a
the
really
tick.
cool comic book,
Hmm.
really cool animated show. But they did the new Amazon version.
Hmm.
It was cool,
Yeah.
but it didn't make its money back. It got canceled.
Yeah.
It was business. That was just business. So we need to support Wild Seeds when it come out so it can make all the money possible and we can get some more Octavia Butler.
Period.
So we would definitely be talking about this. And when I know some of our longtime viewers remember we used to have a show in here called Initiative Reviews.
Hmm.
It's coming back in the new year. All this stuff that we've been talking about doing the streaming wars, it's up to bat. Don't worry about it. Initiative Reviews is returning. Pauline, you got anything else to say about Viola Davis being the queen and doing whatever a queen needs to do?
No, because she's being a queen. There's nothing else I can say about that.
There you go.
Hmm.
So, speaking of more reading before a show, because again, guys, guys, most of the shows and stuff you like, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. They come from these things called books, and I know we don't talk about them a lot, but books are still around. So you can read these things before the show happens, and then you can have that great debate, which I love. I think it's one of the best debate ever. What's better, the book or the show? And yes, the book is better for Game of Thrones. Anyway, so Lucasfilm doing the Disney Investor. Yes, we're going back to Disney because Disney, Jesus, that Investor Day conference, so much stuff happened. We didn't talk about all of it in the last 2 weeks. So we're going to talk about some more. Lucasfilms announced that they are adapting Tommy Adaminier book Children of Blood and Bones, an Afrofuturistic horror book with a whole bunch of deep roots in African mythology, transformed in a story and tale of just people dealing with the world and how this stuff, affects us. That's basically what mythology, religion, that's all that stuff is. I'm hey, Disney, keep doing it, keep doing it. Just keep doing it. I don't care if it's on the Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, Disney Animation, or whoever else y'all gonna buy next year. Just show some love and don't cheat these people and make sure they get their check. Okay, Paulina, how do you feel about just Lucasfilms just saying, hey, we're gonna step out of Star Wars and Indiana Jones or do some new stuff?
Finally. The heck? Seriously, finally. Um, Looking forward to it. Like I said, cautiously optimistic. Because, woo, woo, with this one is that it's legit. Because, okay. But as far as I understand, the book itself is legit. It's absolutely legit.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they
Mm-hmm.
do it justice or go beyond and, you know, make it, I don't want to say better than the book, make it its own version of the story in a way that works. That's all I've always been looking for to
Yeah,
TV or movie
adapt it
adaptations.
like the yeah, like it
Interpret
says.
it
It
in
says
another way,
adapt. You can
basically.
change it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at
Mm-hmm.
it that way, and even if it's like ruined, like you still have the book. Put your money in the book. It at least goes to the author. Part of it to the publisher, the publisher, but
Yeah.
yes, support the black author of these awesome stories.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
wait.
Nice,
It's all a wait and
nice.
see game for me.
Yeah. Moving on out of Lucasfilm. I'm sorry, we're gonna move over to Disney Animation, and this one caught my eye also.
Mm,
Encanto, a tale based on Colombian culture,
mhm,
a tale about people at home in a special home made by people working from home. I really like the way they did that. It was just a really cool tagline.
mhm,
Um, I think Lin Manuel Miranda. I
Mm,
cannot believe I got tongue tied on that. Will be heading to music, and this, of course, is Disney. You gotta have the music, baby. And it is being produced by the producers of Zootopia. That gives me a little hope. I
mm,
like it.
mm,
I'm glad that Disney is heading south of the border for stuff. But I will also say, Disney, hey, go east too. Africa's right there.
mm.
It's right there.
Oh, didn't you
But I
know they
like
did
it
that with The
though
Lion
because
King?
yeah, yeah, but I like it though because look, still in there's still some stuff. But I like it though because again, it's Disney showing more representation, and that means okay, if they're finally open and willing to do this, black creators, get your stuff, start making them proposals, and make sure you got your stuff copywritten so Disney can't steal it.
Hmm.
But hey, put it out there, get your scripts written, get the stuff done. Let's talk because I think in Kanto it just sounds delightful. It's like Coco. It sounds delightful. They keep going more south, and I'm enjoying the travel.
Hmm.
It exposes me to new stuff too. I need to be exposed to more cultures. I can't leave right now. You know what we're doing this year,
Hmm.
2020. So Disney, I love heading down south to the border into Colombia, and I hope this is an indication they're gonna spread to more cultures. Paulina, how do you feel about Encanto?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll live up to its expectations with most other Pixar, Disney and Pixar films or Disney films. Um, well, when I heard the name, Lin, God, how do you say his name? I do not want to get tongue tied.
Lin Manuel Miranda.
Miranda. There we go. This guy, the Hamilton guy. I was calling the Hamilton guy. Yeah, hearing his name on, the music. Okay, okay, I'm down for that. And like you mentioned, Coco. I know with him, he did also Moana, which Coco and Moana are my absolute favorites, actually. Despite my
Mm-hmm.
with Disney, I love those two films because they're cultures that are so similar to mine, especially Coco. So I'm looking forward to seeing
Mm-hmm.
more similarities to my culture. Hopefully, and I know this would be tricky. Hopefully, I don't know if I can trust Disney with the story of my people. I don't know, cause that part, that ooh, that's some stuff white people had so much fun brainwashing my own people about. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it to an extent. I feel like it's just the same old
Mm-hmm.
type of excitement for any animated film that Disney produces because a lot of them are good, not all of them, but a lot of them are good. I loved Zootopia. I loved
Mm-hmm.
Zootopia because mostly because of the world building. I love world building so much. The
Yeah.
culture, just the characters, the world building is my thing. So hopefully, they do more world building stuff with this story. Like they did with Coco and Moana, of course. So let's just hope they keep the same magic and make it even better. Because yes, like you said, they're traveling further and further south, and hopefully they go east at some point without stealing somebody's work. And yeah.
Okay. Speaking of stuff that Disney kind of made up themselves, but not really.
Mm,
Disney Plus is going to get a whole bunch of shorts, and some of the premiere shorts that should be coming out late 2021.
mm-hmm.
Starring Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog, and
Mm.
Moana is getting a short. Um, I pulled this out for a highlight because yes, Disney, you have a lot of brown characters.
Use them.
Remember them?
Yes,
Yeah, use them.
please.
So cool. And Princess Tiana bet not turn into a frog. She
I was
better be a beautiful black
gonna
woman
say that
the
too.
whole
Oh,
short.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, if she turns back into a frog, Disney,
Yeah,
you will have a problem with me.
yeah.
A major
So
problem.
with this, especially with Princess Tiana, I am pessimistic. I'm a little pessimistic about that because I'm I'm over that trend where you have a black lead, but they not black for the movie. They got to turn into some mystical animal. So I'm like, I'm over that. Yeah, I'm done
Right.
with that.
Like all that
We
matters
good.
is what they
We
learn. Oh, okay, but what about the white
yeah,
characters? They didn't
whatever.
have to turn into too
Yeah,
many
I
damn
don't remember
animals to learn.
Cinderella turned into nothing.
The
Exactly.
hell?
Get out of here. Um so that's why I pulled those two out. And I believe Paulina has stated her opinion, but if you would like a little bit more time, the floor is yours.
No, I'm good.
uh, um,
I said what I said.
Sticking with Disney animation and shorts, they are reproducing a short for Soul because Soul comes out December 25th, Christmas Day
Mm,
on Disney Plus and in theaters. No, just Disney Plus for free. Um, and I like that because that means that Soul, Pixar, they're all like, hey, we're not gonna give up on stuff. We're gonna take every single property we've ever made and shove it down your throats. And I'm glad that Soul is getting that opportunity to be a part of the family. I really am, even though I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm glad that they already announced it. Now Soul got extra stuff coming. We're not. It's Will Smith, ain't it? Right? Or is it Jamie Foxx? No, it's Will Smith.
No, I
Okay.
think it's Will Smith.
One of those two is Will Smith. They're like, Will Smith, we ain't letting you out no contract. What's wrong with you? So I bet you Will Smith was like, ain't nobody tell me about this. Did anybody call my agent? Who said we was doing it short? All right. I gotta go record some more stuff. Okay, cool. Pauline, how do you feel about Disney letting it be known that they're already gonna support Pixar and Soul, even though the movie hasn't even been released yet?
mm, I feel okay with it. I missed a lot of Pixar shorts. I didn't write
Mm-hmm.
like I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, I have not seen a Pixar short in a really, really long time. So honestly, I would feel like a kid again if they did that. And if a lot of their
Yeah.
shorts are actually pretty good too, really cute. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think. Side note, my favorite actually. Um, what was it? It was A Bug's Life, and the short before that one was the old
Mm-hmm.
man playing chess.
Oh
And
man. Mm-hmm.
and then you find out at the end he was just playing chess with himself. I'm like, oh my god! So I was like,
I love that.
that was my favorite. So I'm looking forward to it because Pixar and Disney was a great partnership, despite some of the stories you've heard behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. But unfortunately, I can't say unfortunately. Fortunately, it is a great partnership, and seeing them back together again, hopefully it's a better partnership, but who knows? I don't want to be the kind of person who goes, I don't care as long as I'm entertained kind of person. Um, because I get it. It's a lot of hard work with any industry. So hopefully this is a good partnership. This is a good, union or reunion, whatever. I'm not sure. I'm not following that stuff anymore. But yeah, I wanna see it. I actually want to see it. I love their shorts, so I'm down for it. And I'm pretty sure
Nice.
I'm gonna watch Soul.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we have found something that Pauline's excited about. It only took us almost an hour. Um, last thing
The
on
queen
my
keep
notes
with
list,
me.
and this is something. I mean, we're getting close though. We're getting close. The last thing on my list, that stood out to me, is Pixar is producing a movie called Luca. Now, Luca doesn't really have anything to do with Afrofuturism, and it's not truly something cultural. They only showed some steals. They really didn't get deep into the story.
Okay.
But it looks like a ripoff of the anime classic Ponyo. And that's what made bring it out to me because we just been talking about it for the last three topics. Hey Disney, why y'all going to the East and stealing stuff? Stop stealing, make your own stuff. But it really did because, of course, Twitter. Thank you, Twitter. By the way, Twitter put up a whole bunch of steals of Ponyo next to Luca that they had from the investors meeting. I mean, when I say mirror on the wall, I'm like, you looking in the mirror. I'm like, come on, Disney, please stop. Just stop stealing, please. So, Paulina, how do you feel about Disney possibly stealing again?
Okay, so but like I said, with Disney, it's like no. And this kind of stories, though, you have to look culturally. It's like there's so many similarities in terms of like human relationships with sea monsters or just the sea. Period. You know, and it's
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate that Disney is taking the stealing the idea route. And yeah, the story is already told in Ponyo, and then you look at Luca, and it's like it's almost the same thing. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
So
Like,
it's like right. So
it's just pictures, but I mean,
right,
come
right.
on, man.
Mm.
Y'all, like, come on. That's all. And that's the only reason it stood out to me. Other than that, I'm like, come on.
I mean, it could
When
be
I see it, I
completely
know.
different. It could be completely different
Yeah.
for all we know.
But you know what it did, though?
What?
But you know what it did, though? I'm very glad it did. It made me remember Ponyo.
Hmm.
It's Ponyo was one of those things that you saw, but you didn't know because I was young, of course. I didn't know it was animation or anime, and now I know it's anime. It's like I need to go back to watch it to appreciate it.
Just.
So I'm glad it made me think of Ponyo. I'm like, okay, thank you. I give you that. Thank you, Luca. I'm giving you that already. So you already got 1 point in my book. But yeah, come on, Denny, just don't steal nothing. Well, that's it for the show notes. That's all I got. And at this time, we like to go around, and it usually is around. They're usually more than us, but hey, it's just us, and that's perfectly fine. And we asked anything else outside of the show notes did we catch in Afrofuturism or general geekdom. I'm gonna go first.
Hmm.
I got nothing. Paulina.
I got nothing.
All right, yeah, this has been a really great podcast, short and sweet. Love it. I think this is the first time since we started doing this segment. We just ain't got nothing. Everything we wanted to talk about, we talked about.
Yep.
Ain't nothing extra. It's all out here, y'all.
That's it.
We threw it all out there.
Hmm.
Man, that's it. So thank you so much for listening to the Afro Anime podcast. Once again, you can follow us right here on YouTube at Afro_AI. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Oh, pause, timeout. Sorry. This may be the last episode for us for this year. We hope you guys have a happy holidays and a happy new year, and we will see you in 2021. Peace.